everybody, and welcome to my Q&A video, which a lot of you guys have been waiting for a while now, and I really apologize for the delay. I had finals. I just graduated from my junior year in high school, which was really stressful, and this year's been very stressful, so finally I have had time to do this, which is super awesome! And before we get started, I'm first going to talk a little bit about the painting that you're seeing me do in this. This is a painting that I'm doing for my mother. She was like, "Hey, Emily, since you're really bored this summer, could you paint me an owl?" And I'm like, okay! So this is just a painting of an owl being adorable. You'll see it's an owl later. I'll list things on the side of what I used for this painting, and before we get to the actual questions that you guys posed, I thought it would be a good time to sort of reintroduce myself and talk a little bit more about my background, my likes and dislikes, so that way you can get to know me a little bit more. So my name is Emily Redeker. I was born and raised in California. I'm currently 17 years old. I'm going to be 18 in December. So yeah, I really love art. My favorite medium has to be watercolor, obviously, because I do watercolor like every day. And I absolutely love it. I love the medium. And, ooh, what else? I really love Doctor Who. I love all the Marvel movies. I'm not a huge fan of the DC ones, but I do appreciate them. What else? I'm kind of a quirky person. I'm not what you would call a cookie cutter person. I like to think of myself as very unique and outspoken, and a lot of people say I'm pretty funny, which I'm actually pretty proud of. And yeah, so that's just a little bit about me, and yeah, this is kind of personal, but I do have depression and anxiety, which has played a huge role in my life. We actually found out when I was about 5th grade, and that's very young to find out about all that, and I had to go through basically my own personal hell. It was horrible. Depression sucks. If you say that depression isn't real, well, it is real, okay? I literally have been on medication for about, like 6 or 7 years, and it actually has really made a difference in my life, and I really do appreciate the medication that I do have that helps. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, and now I will get to all the questions. So, Bev Roberts, 46. Basically, this person was going to an art store, kind of, or a store to look for art supplies, and so this person went with the kind of cheap brand Master's Touch paints, and most of the brushes have synthetic hair and are multi-purpose water and acrylic paints, except for a small fan brush by Winsor & Newton. So my burning question is, did I just waste a bunch of money on crap materials? Well, my answer is, it depends. I am not exactly sure, and I haven't personally used this brand before, but I have seen some Amazon reviews that are saying that they are pretty good, and personally I would like to know how you are seeing they are. The way I see it, any art material that you get for the first time when you're starting out is a valuable tool, because with that set or with those brushes you're going to learn. That's the whole point of beginning with something that's kind of crappy, which is totally fine, is to learn and not be afraid to actually use it, because if a person is just starting out and they get a big set that's really good quality, they're going to be terrified to use it, and then therefore they're just going to not use it at all, and they might lose interest in it because they're so afraid of wasting their money on something. That is why I recommend going with cheaper options like this person did with the Master's Touch set, which I think was maybe like $15, I'm not sure. Future Emily edited it in here. And so, also, it's never a bad thing to start out cheap. I actually started out using Prang watercolors when I was younger, when I was just starting my art journey, and after that I actually stepped up to the Artist Loft tubes from Michaels, and that is basically where I learned most of my watercolor skills. So it is actually a really good idea to get cheaper supplies. That way you feel comfortable using them, and then once you step up a little bit further, you're more comfortable with it, and then eventually you can get to the professional series and artist quality, and then you'll be totally confident in yourself. It's all about confidence. If you're confident in what you're doing, then you're gonna do great at it. So that is my answer to your question, Bev Roberts 46. It depends on the materials, and it's always a good idea to start out cheap. Okay, next question. Sarah Jones 8 asked, why when I put professional paint on my watercolor palette, it falls apart 2 days later? Can you help me? I have never personally experienced this before. I would recommend possibly sanding down and roughening up the palette a bit, so that way when you squeeze out the tube paint onto the palette, it'll stick a bit more. And I'm not sure exactly what brand you're using, but it could be something about the binding agents, so I would look into that. I know that some people do add honey or glycerin into their watercolor paints to make them stay in their palettes longer, so I would look into that. I'm not a huge expert on that, but research is always a good idea. Next 2 questions I'm not going to answer right now, but I do think that these 2 questions do deserve a video of their own. Rainbow Grande 34 asked, my question is your biggest watercolor tips. And then Nerdione 1, is that how you say it? Can you do a video on how to scan watercolor paintings? So for these 2 questions, I think that it would be very useful for me to make a video all about watercolor, all about the basics, everything you need to know, because I have actually learned a lot from watching YouTube videos, and it's always helpful to see somebody hands-on helping you find out what you need in order to get started, and to start learning, and to start becoming confident in yourself and your art. So I'm probably going to do a separate video on that, which has all the supplies you're going to need, how to start out specifically, like brushes, palettes, and good brands I would recommend, and techniques and all that kind of stuff. So look out for that in the future. And yeah, those are all my questions right now. If you have any more, you can comment down below. I am always open to having new questions, making another Q&A video, because it's pretty easy. You send me a question, I answer it, I make a video, bada bing, bada boom, it's up. And another thing that I would recommend for all artists, all people who are starting out in art, be patient with yourself. You're not going to learn all of this overnight, because we as humans, we have to learn. We have to take time to learn things. And oh boy, are you gonna need patience when you do watercolor. Let me tell you that I have become a much more patient person because of watercolor. Because why you have to be patient? Can you guess why? It's because watercolors have to dry before you can do anything else, which is a little bit annoying, but it also gives it a glowy effect. It gives the translucence of the paper and makes it beautiful. So yeah, thank you for watching this video and subscribing. Woohoo, we are over 250 subscribers, and I am so excited about that, which is awesome. Woo, woo, woo. I've only been on YouTube seriously for maybe like a year now, so I have 250 subscribers, which is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm gonna end this video. Goodbye. I love you all. Keep arting, keep being yourselves, and yeah, do art. Art. Woo!